Nigel, I think we're going to get to you in 1 second. It was an incredible interview. So many amazing revelations. What I want to know, though, Nigel, is what did he say to you off camera? Did he give any indication that he's definitely running again? Because he came, I think, as far as he's gone before during the chat.
Dan, good evening. One of the reasons that I've had a good and a growing friendship with Donald Trump over the course of the last 6 years is that he knows whatever he says to me in private, I never, ever disclose in public, not even to Dan Wootton on GBNews. But I have to say, I thought that much of what he said in front of the camera reflected the things that he said to me off the camera. He may, in private, have gone a little further on one or two other subjects. But look, you know, my analogy of the heavyweight boxer that has lost the world title on a points decision. He's not happy with the judges, but he's limbering up and can't wait to get back in the ring. It was really interesting. When I was interviewing him, that was when he first became really mischievous. You could see how much he's enjoying teasing everybody. No, the big clue, Dan, the really big clue, was when I asked him about the midterms. And he made it absolutely clear that he intends to be front and centre of that midterm campaign. You know, he's not doing that for fun. And I have to tell you, given the mess the Democrats are in, and that's not just because of Joe Biden, not just because of the plummeting popularity of the Vice President Kamala Harris, it's because the Democrats are making the same mistake the British Labour Party made when they tacked under Corbyn to the hard left. They alienated many people who were their traditional supporters, and that's exactly what is going on in America today. So I think the opportunities for the conservative movement here in America are absolutely, to quote Donald Trump, huge.
Nigel, as I mentioned in my digest, there was a moment near the start of the interview where I felt like you were trying to guide Donald away from continuing to relitigate the controversies of the 2020 election. But he was honest with you, Nigel. He does intend to continue campaigning on what he believes, what he says was a rigged election. There's not that much evidence for that. Do you feel like that's a political mistake?
Dan, I'm a friend and supporter of Donald Trump. I've spoken publicly at 2 of his rallies, all right? So, you know, I can't pretend that isn't the case. But that doesn't mean, because you agree with somebody on most things, that you agree with them on everything. And I really think that to continually hark back to November the 3rd is a negative thing to do. I've seen private polling suggesting up to 20% of potential Republican voters are put off by that message. You know, you've got to give people something to go out and vote for. And look at what happened in Georgia, the special election that cost the Republicans the majority in the House. The message was, it's rigged, it's fraudulent, it's hopeless, we can't beat them, they own the system. Oh, by the way, please vote for us next Tuesday. And they were surprised when people didn't. So I don't disagree that mass postal voting is always open to fraud, abuse and intimidation. But I feel that the Trump team need to turn that round into a positive. They need to say what happened on November the 3rd was wrong. And we, as Americans, believing we have the greatest country in the world, are going to make sure we have an election system that is absolutely filled with integrity. And we're going to fight and campaign and get tens of millions of people involved in a campaign, state by state, to clean up the registers, to stop the mass mail-out of ballots, and to try and make elections happen on election day, not 3.5 weeks before it. It's how you turn that negative into a positive. So that's, yes, you're right. You know, I didn't quite see eye to eye with him on that, and I'm urging him and his friends to just change tack on this.
Yeah, no, I could tell. I could tell, and he wasn't prepared to take the bait. Nigel, it really does seem to me, after that interview, that Trump, while he remains a friend of Boris Johnson, is disillusioned by his move to the left, especially on environmental issues. Did you get that sense too?
Yes, I mean, look, he's always liked Boris Johnson's persona. Because, you know, a little bit like Trump, you know, Boris Johnson is kind of larger than life and out there and says things that are written up in the press as gaffes, but actually people generally haven't cared very much. So he's always liked that about Boris. And he also liked about Boris the fact that he joined the Brexit campaign. And all right, we know it was last minute. We know he wrote 2 articles, 1 for, 1 against. But he liked Boris for doing that. Trump always believed that Brexit was absolutely the right thing to do. He doesn't believe in globalist structures. You know, Trump believes in democracy, not globalist bureaucracy. But I did get the sense in the interview of a growing sense that perhaps Boris Johnson has lost his way and that perhaps Boris Johnson, in Trump's eyes, isn't really a conservative anymore. Now, he put it quite tactfully. You know, I think he's moved a bit to the Liberal side. On the wind energy debate, well, look, I mean, I think those wind farms are pig ugly. I've always thought so, but I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. But Trump turned America into an energy independent state and a net exporter of energy. And just look at where we are. I mean, we import nearly 10% of our electricity, yet we've got all the natural resources, whether it's gas up in the Northwest Basin or wherever it is. You know, why aren't we considering being energy independent? And when it comes to wind energy, well, look, I just think it's wrong that ordinary folk watching this programme now are being taxed heavily on their household bills to pay tens of billions over the years to giant multinational foreign companies for a form of energy that is unreliable. And I think Boris is wrong to want us to become the Saudi Arabia of wind. So I'm absolutely with the president on that one.
And Nigel, just finally, take me behind the scenes. What's it like at Mar-a-Lago? Is he comfortable there? Is Melania about? Give me a bit of colour.
Mar-a-Lago is an amazing place. I've been several times over the years. I was there for almost a week earlier on this year. It is beautiful. The lawns, the gardens are beautiful. The paintwork on the buildings is perfect. The menu is incredible. The wine list, for those that choose to head in that direction, is pretty blooming good too. It's just the most amazing place. And of course, it is effectively a playground for the rich and famous in America. And of course, Donald Trump, the owner of it, is by far the most famous person that is there. I think he's very much at home when he's at Mar-a-Lago, and you could be having dinner and he or Melania or both of them can sort of wander around the tables and say hello. It's got the most amazing, relaxed, but actually very classy feel to it. And I have to say, I'm not someone that could afford the membership fee, but I understand if I had the money, I'd very much want to be a part of it.